The next tool that we have on our toolbar is called Shear tool, and this is often used when you want to create molding or 90 angle turns for buildings and those kinds of things. So let's see how it's going to work. You can activate the tool down here, and then using the face selection mode, you can select the face, and then you get this manipulator that lets you shear the object. So when you do that, you can access the operator panel down here, and then you can change this value. So just simply type in 1 for one side, or you can type in -1 for the other side, and it's going to give you an exact 90 angle turn. And then you can press E to extrude, and you can see that it goes along object's local normal. So we're going to move that to y-axis like that. So let's just grab this along the y-axis more like that. And then again, we can start shearing this. Actually, we have to use this axis now, like that. And to move there, if you look in the top left corner, there's -2. So we're going to type that in, -2, just like that. And then we can extrude along the z-axis, and just like that. And now to shear this again, we can use this axis, and we're going to type in -1, just like that. So you can see that I'm able to create these 90 angle turns very easily and quickly. So if we had this object like from, let's rotate this on the y-axis 90 degrees. So if I was creating a molding for my building or anything, you can see that I have these exact 90 angle turns very easily and quickly. So I would something like maybe select this one, move it along the x-axis like that, and now I want to have a turn over here, this controller, so like that. And then I would type in the value down here, so 1, and then I can just extrude this. So we have y-axis over there, so let's extrude along the y-axis, and then I can fix this again by simply using the tool. So let's type in 1 again, and it's going to reset that for me. And then again, if I sort of use the tool, I can type in 1 and then extrude along x-axis like that. So you can see that it can be helpful for creating moldings or these 90 angle turns, and you might find other uses for it. The next tool that we have nested inside this is a sphere tool, to sphere. And the way you use that tool is that if we create a cube object, let's go into edit mode. And we're going to add some loop cuts. So let's add random loop cuts, about 4 or 5 loop cuts in all directions. And let's say that I want to turn this into a circle. And to do that, I can select all of these, and then this to sphere tool can be activated. And we simply left click and hold in the viewport and move left or right. And you can see it lets me sort of create or convert that into a sphere. You can also use this keyboard shortcut. So if you hover your cursor, it says Alt, Shift, and S. So if you don't have the tool activated, you can simply press Alt, Shift, S, and then move your cursor left or right. So people often use this when they want a bit of different topology of how these edges are distributed. So when you create a sphere, it might look a little different. So let's go ahead and do that. And we're going to move this along the y-axis. So you can see how both of these objects have different way how these lines are moving around. So this is often useful for creating characters, because you can sort of start at this point, and then to create eyes, you would select something like maybe these ones, and then you can sort of inset these, and then you can inset these inside like that. To create the nose, you would take these faces, and then you can sort of extrude these, rotate these along the y-axis like that. You can sort of scale these so you can play around. And for creating the mouth, you can select sort of this area at the bottom, and then like that, and then you can sort of extrude. Now I did it very quickly and roughly, so you can see that. And afterwards, you can right click and shade smooth, and then you can also add a subdiv modifier by pressing Ctrl+2 on your keyboard. So when you go to this gear icon, there's the subdivision modifier. Again, we'll be taking a look at how these modifiers work a little later in the course, but you can see that how quickly we were able to sort of create that head. And we have like really good topology where we can add loop cuts within this eye area to add more detail, and we can add more loop cuts in the face area to add details to our mouth area. And all of this is like really, so this mesh is sort of created in a very beautiful way, distributed properly. And to add these ears and stuff, we can maybe select some of these faces and extrude them outwards like that. And then we can sort of rotate these a little bit, select these faces, and we can inset these like that, and then we can move them inwards. So a very quick model, but you get the idea. So it's better compared to that other object. So that's how you would use these two tools in Blender.